Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's Blake, your better realtor.
And it's Nathan with Stearns Home Loans.
And today we're going to cover the 4 easy steps on how you can afford a home here in California. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. First one that we're going to recommend is getting a second income, right? So this is something that you're going to want to do that's outside of your norm 9-to-5 job, right? So whether that be doing Uber Eats,
Amazon,
and
there's
if you're
getting a notary license, stuff like that.
Exactly. Anything that you can do outside of your 9-to-5 job that's going to help generate you some extra income that you can play around with, right? For me, it was real estate, and once real estate started making enough money, then I left the 9-to-5, and the side job became the now main point of focus. So second income is going to be huge for you guys. Second is going to be investing.
Yeah, and so what that looks like is like stocks, mutual funds, things like that to help kind of charge your savings. Some popular things that I've seen a lot of like first-time home buyers as well as just clients in general is Robinhood. Mm-hmm. So that's a very popular app as well as Wealthfront and Acorns. So Robinhood, Wealthfront, and Acorns, again, those are apps that you can look into to kind of help turbocharge your savings.
And those are all at your fingertips.
All at your fingertips.
If you're on this video, you can invest in stocks.
Yeah.
Easy. Just educate yourself before you go ahead and do so. I know there's like a whole Robinhood scandal that was going on, so just make sure you're educating yourself before you go ahead and start dumping some serious cash into some stocks, right? And then the third one, Nathan, you want to shed some light on this one? The rentals.
Yeah, it's rentals. So something that could. Thinking outside the box a little bit is, what if you bought a out-of-state rental first and then you bought your primary residence? That's something that can, again, speed up your savings so that way you can actually save up for your primary residence that you want to have here in California.
Right.
So I think we can work through an example, and that way it's a little easier to understand.
Yep, and I think we should go based off of, let's say, like a $50K income.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll cover this in the rentals. So let us break it down for you guys, real simple and easy. So let's say your goal is to buy a $500,000 home here in California with the first-time homebuyer FHA loan being 3.5% down, roughly. It's going to be $17,500 that you need to save up, right? So Nathan's going to dive a little bit deeper into it, going based off of $50,000 a yearly income. So go ahead.
So with $50,000 a year, after taxes, that's roughly going to be about $2,500 a month, right? And let's be conservative and say our expenses for a $50,000 a year person is $2,000 a month. I think that's really high, but let's be conservative, right? So that takes into account $2,500 minus $2,000, and now you're able to save $500 a month, and that's going to take you about roughly 3 years to save $17,500, your down payment for a house here in California. Now, obviously, this example is generic, and we'd love to customize a scenario just for you.
Yep.
But like I said, we want to keep it simple, and let's invest out of state, and let's look at a purchase price of $120,000, right? 10% down, and that's about $12,000 for a down payment that you need for out of state, right? Now, that $12,000 might be a lot, and what you can always look into is partnering up with somebody, maybe that's a parent, a close person that you actually trust. Maybe they also want to sort of buy their primary residence and join your journey, right? So that's something to look into. So instead of $12,000, you could just have to save up $6,000.
Reduce it.
Right, and to keep it simple, let's just say a mortgage for $120,000 is $750 a month. And the really nice thing about investing is you have a certain goal that you want to achieve, which is, let's say, an extra $500 a month in savings. So we know we have to buy a property that needs to net rent at $1,250, right? Minus $750 is $500 a month, right? So now you're essentially able to save double compared to your original scenario where you're only saving $500 a month, and now you're able to save $1,000 a month. So that 3-year time frame went to like 1.5 years, right? So it's something to think about, thinking outside the box there.
Yeah, it just allows you guys more flexibility, right? It just gives you more options to choose from. And I think after you guys dive in a little deeper with us and have that one-on-one conversation, I think you're probably going to want to up that $500,000 goal. I could be wrong, right? But I think once you guys start seeing the success and how much money you can actually make and having the knowledge and the confidence that comes along with that knowledge, I think that's going to be a game changer for you guys. So we highly, obviously we're both in the real estate industry, so we're going to go ahead and say rentals is one of the bigger ones that you can go ahead and invest in. And the fourth and final one is going to be staying at home. And what I mean by this is if you guys do not need to be outside of your parents' home, right? Like they're not pushing you out the door, let's cut the expenses. I think that's kind of what ties into this, is just cutting expenses, right? So if you don't need to spend that $2,000 a month that we just broke down, like let's go ahead and save that, and that'll really turbocharge, kind of like what Nathan's saying, your goal, which is getting that $500,000 home. Now, can you still buy the $500,000 home and invest? That's a conversation we got to have, right? You can always do like leverage positive equity and stuff like that. So obviously if you have more detailed questions, or if you already own a home and you want to invest, send us a message and we can talk a little bit more in detail about it. But yeah, so staying at home or finding roommates, if you absolutely have to be outside of the house or you don't have the option or the luxury to stay at home, finding roommates is also a big one. And again, that's minimizing your expenses. And I know wealthy people to this day who still have roommates, and they have absolutely like zero need to have roommates, but they've already mastered minimizing expenses. So that's just something they choose to do. So did you want to add anything else to this, Nathan, before we close out?
Yeah, I think to the last point again is I do see a lot of people and their finances being on the lending side, right? And I think it's more common nowadays for people to live with their parents, or even like again have a ton of roommates, just to cut their expenses down. And that's something to think about, is that's not forever. It's short term. So if you do it for 6 months, you can turbocharge your savings to that $17,500 much quicker.
Yep.
And it's temporary, right?
Yep.
So that's all I wanted to add. Blake, you take it home from here.
Yeah. So adding to that, actually, so if you're saving if you're making $50,000 a year and you're staying at home for just 6 months, you just saved $25,000.
Right. That's a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So just take that into consideration. If it's a pride thing, that's a different conversation. I like to think of myself as somewhat of a mentor and a coach. So if there's some struggles you guys are facing, feel free to reach out. We can also help you out there. But that's all we have for you on this video. So we'll see you guys on the next one. If you guys had any questions that you felt like we didn't cover, or if you'd like to see another video in the future, please comment it down below. We do plan on doing this on a weekly basis. So please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.